Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people from all over the world. This is G with Scampo and Personal Training. I've decided to go live and discuss isometrics and hypertrophy. In the background here, I'm just going to play a ISOFIT 30 and 30 workout that I did the other day, just so you have some visuals and it's just not my bulbous head that you're watching for the entire stream. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can ask live, or you can ask whenever you're watching this in 2045, 2027, tomorrow, Friday, whenever you're watching it. Feel free to ask some questions. I'll answer you, maybe. I get this question all the time. Do isometrics stimulate hypertrophy? Everybody wants to know if isometrics builds muscle. And this is a very complex question that I've answered 115,000 times in short, but I thought that I might go into further detail here. What I've done is I'm going back to my college days, and I've made myself a little bit of an outline so I don't get scramble brain here and I could stay on task. Okay, so this is a question that I get all the time. I think this is a very popular question. Does isometrics build muscle? I'm going to talk about hypertrophy, and then I'm going to talk about my belief on hypertrophy, and then I will discuss how isometrics plays into growing muscle, building muscle. Okay. Hypertrophy. Studies show there's 3 ways to achieve hypertrophy: mechanical tension, metabolic waste, and muscle damage. Okay, mechanical tension, just creating tension in the muscle. 2, metabolic waste, increased blood flow, metabolic byproducts, increased metabolic rate, just the burning of the muscle. And number 3, muscle damage. Studies have shown that muscle damage isn't as important, but for the sake of conversation, we're going to say all 3 are equally as important to grow muscle. You can achieve hypertrophy by swelling of the cells. So the cells inside the muscle fiber are actually growing, or you're increasing the amount of muscle. You're increasing the amount of muscle fibers, or you're increasing the size of the muscle fiber. They say that increasing the size of the muscle fiber is the most popular way to grow muscle. My view on hypertrophy and muscle mass. My market is not the person that wants to bulk. Okay, my message is not for the person that wants to grow a lot of mass. So if that's you, I apologize. Can you get through isometrics? Yes, I will get to that point. However, that is not my goal. My message is for the people that want a healthy amount of muscle fiber and a primitive physique. Let me go more into detail on that. Having a large amount of muscle fiber is not advantageous to a certain point. Okay, you have a large caloric demand for having more muscle fiber. Your systems of the body are increasing because the more muscle you're carrying. And is that truly what we want? We want to be have an efficient body. Do we want to increase our heart rate, increase our metabolic rate, increase just the mass that we have to carry? Is that truly what our goal is, just so that we look bigger? Again, if that's your goal, we can get there. That's not my goal. And I hope that this message is clear enough and I reach the right market. I believe there's a trade-off here. Okay, so I don't think that a healthy body is a very bulky and musculature body. What is it doing to the heart? What is that increased amount of muscle doing to the heart? It's making the heart pump more blood to the muscles. Is that what we want? To a degree, yes. I think at a certain point, it becomes unhealthy. Forcing your body to carry around that extra weight that you have from having a lot of muscle mass. is, to me, just not where I'm going, and it's probably not where you should go to. If you are looking for an increased muscle mass, I might not be the guy for you. Okay, but bear with me here, because muscle is important and I do want to have a musculature look. I just don't, I see a lot, of guys on YouTube and social media, and they're just freaking jacked, probably because of TRT, and that's just not really for me. I want to look like a primal warrior. I want to look cut and lean. I want to look like a healthy amount of muscle mass on my body. That's my goal. And if that's your goal, let's go along for the ride here. Okay, so I want to be able to take on real life tasks. I want enough musculature to take care of my family. I want enough musculature, but not too much, where if there is an emergency, whether it be environmentally or economically, my body does not demand a lot of calories. So if there just happens to be some crazy famine or something like that, I want to be able to cut down on calories and still carry the amount of muscle that I currently have. Okay, I'm thinking holistically and long term here, and I hope you're following along with me. I do want enough muscle mass where I can carry 75 bags of groceries up the stairs to help my wife out. Yes, of course, I want that. We can achieve that through isometrics. Do I need enough muscle mass to pick my shed up and move it 15 yards to the left? I don't think so. That's not my goal. Hopefully, it's not for you either. Okay, so the primitive look is what we're looking for here. The dense muscle fiber, the balanced body, where you can see all the musculature in the body, not just the biceps. Okay, I don't want to be one of these guys that is heavy up top, heavy down low, and your core is weak. I've done that before. It gave me a hernia. I realized the hard way that I need to have a super, super strong core. I need to be balanced throughout the body. I want to make every single muscle in the body strong. I want you to be able to see the tone of the entire body, not just the shoulders, not just the boulders that we have here. Okay. Thinking practically here, not just through ego. The role of isometrics and how isometrics plays into this. Does isometric build muscle? Isometrics achieves 2 of our 3 factors that play into hypertrophy. Let me just pause there before I get in there. Let me answer this question. Anthony, how much time should we hold an isometric exercise we want to build strength? And follow up, how much time should we hold if we want to stimulate muscle growth? Okay, great question. If you want to build strength, anywhere between 6 seconds and 45 seconds. But if you want max output, it has to be a shorter duration, like 6 seconds to 15 seconds. Okay, because after like 15 seconds of max output, you're gonna fail and you're gonna be gassed out. So 6 to 15 seconds to build maximal strength, and that goes along with building muscle growth. So I would say your rep range is 6 to 15 seconds. However, if you want to go a 45-second muscle contraction, which I really love to do, just wait to the last 15 seconds to go 100%, or start at 100% and let yourself fail, but sustain the 45-second contraction. So, Anthony, great question. Love the name. That's the name of a lot of members in my family. 6 seconds is really what you're looking for maximum strength and muscle growth. However, you can achieve that maximal force output in a 45-second muscle contraction just by going hard for like 6 seconds, or going as hard as you can for like 6 seconds out of the 45 seconds. I hope that answers your question. Thanks. Okay, back to my cheat sheet here. I feel like I'm in 2008, and I'm presenting to my class, and half the class are shit for brains, and they don't, excuse my language. Anyway, okay, so isometrics creates mechanical tension. Okay, so let's just look at myself here doing this. This is a pike here, and with a little bit of slight right rotation. This is all tension. I'm flexing the spine, which is activating my ab muscles, and I should be compressing that pad, which is going to generate a ton of tension there. So we're achieving mechanical tension. Now, metabolic waste. It's burning like a son of a gun here. Okay. I'm creating metabolic waste and byproducts through lactic acid, increased metabolic rate, increased blood flow, increased respiratory system. If you can see, I don't look it, but inside I'm really dying right now. So within that 45-second muscle contraction, I have achieved mechanical tension and metabolic waste. The third component, muscle damage. Muscle damage happens because of cross bridge of actin and myosin. They grab onto each other like Velcro. They grab onto each other and then you rip them apart during eccentric muscle action. So they're cross bridging, they're grabbing, contracting, and then they start to rip apart and you get your tears and the protein fills into the tears. That's where you're getting your muscle damage. There is no eccentric in overcoming isometrics. So we're not achieving the muscle damage or the extent of muscle damage we would if we were doing dynamic exercise. So we've achieved 2 of the 3 components that stimulate hypertrophy. This is where I am confused when people don't think that you can build muscle when you're doing isometrics, because 2 of the 3 components are achieved. You mean to tell me that you need all 3? If and when you achieve all 3 components, that's the only time you achieve hypertrophy? It just, in theory, it does not make sense to me. Through the evolution of mankind, your body adapts to a stimulus. Isometrics creates tension. That's the stimulus to the body. That is a good enough stimulus for you to adapt. The adaptation that occurs is hypertrophy. If someone can argue against this for me, that would be great, but I just can't see how we would not achieve hypertrophy through the stimulus provided by isometrics. Going back to the primal look, because it's your own body weight, how do I explain this? There's no science behind what I'm about to say, but this is what I believe. Isometrics seems primal in nature. I don't really have any equipment here except for a bar. Okay, so I feel like if there's a primal stimulus, there's going to be a primal adaptation, and the primal adaptation is going to be lean muscle fiber, as if you were a warrior in the movie 300. Very minimal body fat, strong, dense muscle fiber. You can see their muscles contract. The last thing I want is to convince people to grow muscle mass, but to have large muscles, but soft muscles. I want hard, dense musculature, because that to me will mean that it's going to contract. There's no play in the contraction. It's already contracted and it's already dense. So when there's a squeeze of the contraction, it is multiplied. And I hope some of this stuff is theory, some of this stuff is scientific, but I hope that makes practical sense to you guys. Okay, furthermore here, if you can argue that the missing third component, muscle damage, is what's going to limit us from hypertrophy, then please do so, because I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. The benefits of isometrics include stability, strength, improved cardiovascular respiratory system, optimize neuromuscular communication. Your nerves turn on more muscle fiber is contracted at any given point. Stronger joints, stiffer tendons and ligaments to sustain more impact. The list goes on and on. If dynamic exercise increases more muscle fiber than isometrics, I don't think that it is a large enough increase to convince us not to do isometrics, because the benefits of isometrics far outweigh the marginal increase in muscle fiber we can achieve through dynamic exercise. In short, We are looking for a primal warrior body physique, a dense muscle fiber, a body that looks like it is able to withstand survival. I am not looking for a body that just looks good for TikTok and a huge muscle mass. I do not believe a huge muscle mass is healthy or advantageous for any other reason other than a acute need for force output. Other than that, the muscle mass is just for aesthetics. I hope as a society we can move on from the aesthetics and get to a point where we're doing this for the holistic body, the health of the body. Do isometrics build muscle? Yes. Does it build as much muscle as dynamic exercise? I don't know. We shall see. As isometrics gain in popularity, I'm sure the research will follow and we will get the answers we are looking for. Are isometrics advantageous in everything else and more optimal than dynamic exercise and everything else in life? I would argue yes. Okay, that's 16 minutes of why isometrics does build muscle mass. And I'll take any questions from anybody. If not, I will let this ride out for a little bit more. Might as well explain what we got going on here. This is the IsoFit by Brad Thorpe. Isofit.com is where you can find this tool. I'm doing a inverted row. This is more of a yielding isometrics than it is overcoming because I'm not driving my chest into the bar. I'm not moving an immovable force. I'm hovering in space. This is pretty much the only yielding isometrics I will do is an inverted row. As you can see, I'm not achieving my 45-second muscle contraction. I'm actually failing in this. This is how hard this exercise is. Let's do 2 more exercises, then I'm logging off. So we got 15 seconds rest. That's the protocol, 45-second muscle contraction, 15-second rest. We're moving on now. Let's see what we get here. Am I going to go into the push-up? Oh, man, that's brutal. I'm going to go into the push-up. My goodness. Okay, going from an inverted row to a push-up. This is overcoming isometrics. I am applying force through the bar. The bar is at my back. My hands are pressing through the ground. There's 3 points of contact. My back, my hands at the platform, and my feet. I'm pressing the ground away from myself. This is one of the hardest isometrics you can possibly do. This is one of the greatest chest exercises and tricep exercises you can do in all of the land. Do it, try it, put a bar at about, I don't know, what is that? Probably like 18, 24 inches from the ground and driving your shoulders up into the bar and try and sustain that contraction for 45 seconds. It is extremely difficult. I just achieved it right there. I wonder if I go to a chest press here. So the flow of this is excellent. It's you could what's the word I'm looking for? Sequence in isometrics. Amazing. You can do a 30-degree push-up to a 45-degree push-up, and then you can do a push-up and do a chest press. You can do a chest press into a chest fly. However you would sequence your dynamic exercise, you can achieve that through isometrics in a matter of seconds. Seltzer water. I'm just looking for the bubbles in the hydration. Okay, I think that's it for now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's 20 minutes of my time. That's 20 minutes of your time. Real fans watch until the end. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Follow. Wait. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell notification. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell your significant other, tell your grandparents, your grandmothers, your great aunts and uncles, your neighbors, your brothers and sisters. Scampo and personal training, isometrics for the people, for the win. Ladies and gentlemen, over and out. Thanks.